So I was talking to a friend this week, and one of the topics that came up from their coaching background, and it kind of resonated with me quite a lot, was about how rather than focusing on where you wanted to get, like the final goal, it was about the process of getting better, continually getting better. And that really resonated with me because it put me here in the middle of October. It put me in the middle of the decision-making process every year around the beginning of the year when I think to myself, New Year's resolutions, not really ever been my thing, but I think it's important to think about what you want the next year to look like in your life. And you don't have to wait for the new year for that to start. You can literally hit the reset button at any point in time and start pursuing something else in your life, which is coincidentally why I picked this bottle. It was part of some recording my wife and I did earlier for our YouTube channel, our whiskey channel, but I'm going to pour a little Pursuit United, talk about the pursuit of getting better. So this stuff right here, love Pursuit, love what they're doing, love the blending. Yeah, it's just a good whiskey, flat out good whiskey. Doesn't blow you away. Well blended though, very well crafted, and well worth a shot. Cheers. Yeah, sweet, spice, everything nice, sticks around, has a nice oiliness to it. Really good product, great for the price. Big fan of Pursuit and what they're doing. Would definitely recommend checking them out. I would also recommend just focusing on getting better, following the steps of the process. And I've said this on this channel quite a bit, but just focusing on taking the next step forward in whatever aspect. And I think that the context in which it came up this week in this conversation with this friend was really helpful because it's so easy to focus on the negative things in life, to get sidetracked with things, to get distracted by things. And these are all topics that are near and dear to my heart and we've spoke about on previous videos. The reason I wanted to bring it up in this context is specifically because it is so easy for us to sidetrack ourselves and get completely derailed. But I think if you can envision the end that you want, then you can take steps toward that in whatever way that is best for you in your current situation. I know for me, I know those steps that I've taken in my life, and I've talked about some of those here as well. But really what it boils down to is being honest with yourself and really taking a hard look at your situation and what you can change within that situation that is going to lead you closer to the end result that you want. And that can be difficult. It can be difficult to take that time out and be really honest with yourself. Where are your deficits? Where are your shortcomings? Where are the things that you could change to put yourself one step closer to where you want to be? And this is never more evident to me, personally speaking, than when I met my wife. When we started dating, she is so good with money and I am so not good with money. But she taught me over time that, you're not going to just catch a windfall and everything's going to change for you. Success financially is the result of a lot of small decisions that add up over time. And truthfully speaking, I don't care what you're working on. I don't care if you're working on your physical health. It's the byproduct of having physical health is directly correlated to the accumulation of small good decisions every step of the way. Same thing for mental health. Small good decisions every step of the way. Showing up to therapy, showing up to counseling, showing up for yourself, taking care of yourself rather than running from your problems or, ignoring your problems or expecting anyone else to deal with them for you. These types of things, these small decisions that accumulate over a period of time, they get you where you want to go. I heard somebody say it really well one time. It said, the way that things tend to work is that nothing happens for a long time and then everything happens all of a sudden. Or you hear the terminology of like an overnight success. Well, behind every overnight success was 5 or 10 or 15 years of hard work. you don't just get things like that usually. Usually they are a byproduct of keeping your nose to the grindstone. And I do try to be mindful of the fact that I am a nose to the grindstone type of guy, and I know not everybody is that way. I know it's a little bit of an old school way of thinking, but I believe in it. And I believe that to be really good at anything, you're going to have to invest in it a little bit over a period of time. I saw that myself years ago. I was the heaviest weight I'd ever been. I'd suffered a knee injury. I went from a very active lifestyle to a very sedentary lifestyle. My active lifestyle let me have a really poor diet. So when I became sedentary, I gained a lot of weight. And I started losing weight when I was able to get more active. And I dialed my diet in as well at the same time. And I started focusing on goals. And I didn't lose all that weight overnight. I didn't gain that weight overnight. But I lost it really quickly once I started thinking about every single day as whether I was winning that day or losing that day. That particular day, did I take the steps and make the right decisions to advance me a little bit closer to my goal? So for me, huge sweet tooth. Am I making the right decisions? Am I avoiding sweets? Am I doing the things that I need to do today to advance me closer to my goal or not? And if I won that day, I celebrated that win by no other way than just being happy that I won that day. If there was a day where I lost and I broke down and I bought a candy bar in a gas station, you know what? You win some, you lose some. I'm going to chalk that up as a loss. I'm going to move on to the next day. I'm not going to labor on it. I'm not going to let that get in my head. I'm not going to let that derail me and my future goals. So many of us, as soon as we get derailed once, we feel like we've completely failed and the train just goes all the way off the tracks. It doesn't matter if we're talking, again, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, financially. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. We have small failures and then we self-sabotage because we don't stay the course. We don't focus on the end goal. And I guess that's what's been on my mind and my heart this week is that I want to encourage you. I want to encourage myself as every time I sit down in front of this camera, whatever I'm saying to you, I'm basically speaking to myself as well. I want to encourage you that small losses they're only setbacks. They're not complete derailments unless you let them become derailments. So don't let the small losses, you can lose a battle. That doesn't mean you lost the war. Stay firm, stay the course, win the war. You're going to lose a battle or two. Celebrate the battles you win. Don't get hung up on the battles you lose. And over time, you will win the war that way, whatever you're fighting, whether it be any of these things we've discussed. But I want to encourage you in that. I want to encourage you to pursue what's most important to you. And yeah, hopefully this finds you wherever you're at as encouragement or motivation or anything like that. This channel only exists for me to share my thoughts in a completely unedited way to hopefully help you. And it certainly helps me to share this stuff as well. It makes me think about it on a more consistent basis. So hopefully it helps you as well. We're going to end it there. We'll see you next week. Cheers.